Continue to visit as they try to get exercise and distance themselves from others.
Now, one police force has released drone footage of people who they say are violating the rules. Take a look.
So let's talk through some of these issues. Now joining us from Kendal is Richard Leaf from the Lake District National Park Authority, also joined by Superintendent Steve Pont, who's from Derbyshire Police in Ripley Forest this morning. Steve, good morning to you. First of all, just pick up, because I think the images we saw there were some that your force were involved in. What is it that you're trying to achieve? What is the message you're sending out?
We're trying to highlight that some people are, despite all the information out there, some people are still not staying at home. You know, the hashtag stay at home is everywhere, but some people are just not sticking to it. They're trying to find excuses and loopholes as to why they don't need to stay at home, even though everybody else does.
So this is, if you like, almost a shaming thing where, I mean, I know it's not personal, but you want to show people the images and what's going wrong. I know that some other police forces have taken a step further along the way and they're stopping people and saying, you know, what's your business, where are you going? Is that something that you'll be actively considering now?
Well, it's not a shaming video, it's illustrative to show that some people aren't staying at home. We haven't gone as far as doing roadblocks as some forces have. We're hoping to appeal to the better judgment of these people who are not staying at home, that they will start to do that. You know, the NHS are heroes. You know, I was on my street last night clapping at 8 o'clock, as I'm sure most people were. The NHS are asking us, in some cases, begging us to stay at home. And, you know, 93 to 94% of the public are doing that, but some people are trying to find excuses not to.
Richard, let's talk to you. You've been at the National Park Authority, what, 12 years? This is a change, isn't it? Telling people not to come.
Yeah. Yes, it is, and it breaks my heart in many ways, because I've spent the last 12 years, along with colleagues in the National Park and all the national parks in the UK, encouraging people to come and visit the National Park, and in a sense we're better than the Lake District in spring. But now is really not the time, and we would encourage people to postpone their visit. The park will always be here, and we'll open it just as soon as we get advice that we can. But for now, please stay at home, save lives, protect the NHS.
Well, Richard, I mean, I don't think many people will be disputing the message you're giving, but, I mean, if we are seeing some police forces around the country, at least at this point, saying we're offering advice to stay at home, telling people to turn around, they're being given powers to give fines. When does it get to the point when the weather's great and people descend on the parks or come to the parks anywhere, and you're not persuading them to leave, that you need to call the police?
Yes, and the police in Cumbria have put out a very strong message to say now is not the time for tourism. And they have been having conversations with people, particularly who are arriving in caravans and camper vans, to ask them to turn around and go back to their home address. Our car parks are closed to visitors. Many of our rights of way start off or go through farms and farmyards, which of course are people's homes, where people may be self-isolating because they're ill. So we have to think of all of these people, and I would really encourage people not to come to the National Park this weekend, or until we say it's safe to come.
Superintendent Pons, I wonder if you could just give us a steer. I know that clearly your officers are adapting, like everyone else, to new situations, but you have powers now, don't you, to stop people from gathering in groups, maybe even address things like people gathering in their own homes, having get-togethers. How are you going to play this in practice? What will happen today with your officers who are out and about?
Well, we've received the legislation, which is quite clear. It's very easy for people to understand that they have to stay at home unless they try not to understand it. We haven't started issuing fines yet, but if people continue to flout this rule, then we will resort to giving out fines.
So, Superintendent, I mean, just give me a scenario. One of your officers is out, maybe driving their car, and they see a group of 3 people together. What will they do?
So the importance of these rules is this. So if we see those 3 people and we have to go to talk to them, one of those 3 people might give the virus to our officer, and our officer then might go and deal with a victim of crime who's vulnerable and give the virus to them, to an old person maybe. Or alternatively, the officer might have the virus. We don't know who's got it, and they might give the virus to one or all of those 3 people. That's why this is so important for people to stay at home.
Richard, brief one. Let's finish on a positive note. You are hopeful that you will get people back in the park, aren't you?
Yeah, we really look forward to welcoming people back to the Lake District and all of the national parks in the UK, just as soon as we get advice to say that that's safe to do.
Lovely to talk to you both. Thank you very much. Richard Leaf there, Chief Executive of the Lake District National Park Authority, and Superintendent Steve Pont there from Ripley, Derbyshire Police. Thank you very much.
7:56 is the time right now. That means it's time to get the news, travel and the weather where you are.
See you soon.